But I just want to do a deal. I hear that a lot. In the mentoring I do, one of the things that people make the most mistakes on is they just want to move forward to do a deal. And over the weekend, I also heard a mentee say, I just can't get excited about small deals. Well, QLA is about doing a $1 million deal, then a $2 million deal, then a $4 or $5 million deal. And then after 5 or 6 deals, you have about $8 to $12 million under your belt. Why? Because most of the time when you start anything, you're not terribly proficient at it. And people ask, well, why can't I go do a $25 million deal or a $100 million deal? Well, the short answer is you're not that good yet. Will you eventually be? I hope that you will be. But the team you have is unproven. They haven't done it yet. There's a difference in managing a small deal and a large deal. And so it's really important to follow the QLA steps the way Dan Peña set them up back in 1993. Have there been some tweaks to that along the way? Sure, there have been. But the basic process is still the same. And so you want to go through the steps, and whether it's my website, Dan's website, the deep dive course that's on my website, wherever it is, just make sure you follow the steps. And when you get to the point that you know what industry, you've got your dream team put together, you've got your professionals, your accountants and lawyers on a success-oriented fee, as we've talked about, then you want to begin warming up financial institutions. And when you do that, you only want to initially ask a couple of questions. You want to know, are they lending in your space? If they're not, there's no sense in having a further discussion. And if they say, yes, we're lending in your industry, you want to know what are the parameters in which they're lending. But more than one mentee has made a mistake by getting drawn into too many questions initially. Again, you're just warming them up. So you really only want to know, are they lending in your space? And then what multiple of EBITDA are they lending at? You're going to find probably that's in the range of 2 to 3.5, something like that, depending upon your industry. And then what industry multiple do they support in terms of purchase price? That is not as critical, but it's a good question to ask. So that's really all you want to know. Primarily, are you lending in my space? If the answer is no, no sense going any further. And then what multiple are you lending at? Then you want to get, based on those multiples, some LOIs in place, and then you want to go back to those financial institutions with a few of them, a few deals to bring to a few banks. Don't bring several deals to one bank. You don't want to cross-collateralize. So if you want to take 3 deals and take those 3 deals individually to 3 of the banks that you've talked to, and you probably need to just warm up 10 banks. That's enough. Then you'll get a feel for that, and then you'll get into the discussions of what the lending parameters are. But an awful lot of people, and the engineer in me is guilty of this as well sometimes, want to look ahead to the next step. I used the example yesterday in telling people to follow the steps is if you want to run a marathon, you don't usually strap on a pair of shoes and go run a marathon. You first run a 5K, then a 10K, then you might do a half marathon or a few half marathons, and then eventually you're going to run a marathon. And it's the same way here. That's the reason that you're going to practice with lower banks and financial institutions. That's why you're going to practice on lower Dream Team candidate members. That's why you're going to practice on accounting and law firms, which are smaller at first. Don't shoot for the big ones because you're typically not that good and you don't have that experience, and you're going to learn along the way. So it's critical, absolutely critical, to follow the steps. Don't go hunting for a big giant deal first. And then be sure that you understand what the financial institutions will lend at. Again, you're going to first work towards seller finance. 100% seller finance would be the gold standard here. But if not, you're going to be sure you understand what the banks are lending at so that you can actually put that into an LOI and know if you're offering what a bank will support or not. Okay, so that's an update. But again, the whole message here is follow the steps. Okay, so if you've got any ideas for future podcasts, I'd love to hear those. You just go ahead and email me at bruce@brucewhipple.com. And if you go over to brucewhipple.com, go ahead and grab the free class. It's brucewhipple.com/free class. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, this is QLA's time. There is a lot of free information you can use to acquire already profitable businesses. This is Bruce Whipple. Thanks for listening to the Business Acquisition Podcast. And remember, you miss 100% of the opportunities you fail to take. And procrastination truly is the thief of time. So do something today, please. Your future self will be proud of.